So what was your question?
How are you figuring out these borders?
These boundaries are based on the descriptions of the original survey, which are given in lines. And so you will have a starting point, which in this case is my little flag. Um, and then it will give so for example our starting point, and this right here could be problematic because I'm already noticing for the original bear den it says the beginning is a marked red oak standing on a ridge between swamps near ye head of a creek that issues out of Nanticoke River called Broad Creek and a neck of land called Wimbasockum. But then for the resurveyed bear den, the starting point is a Spanish oak. I don't know if that's the same oak, but then that says it's standing in the fork of a branch. Now then, so the distance is given in poles, which is 16.5 feet roughly. So then from that starting point, we're going due west 12 poles, then south 37 degrees west 32 poles, and so on. I put them in with a program which then draws the shape based on all those angles and distances, and it would be a lot more exact than what probably the colonial surveyors were dealing with, which is why you get little errors all over the place.
And then you kind of line up with the tree lines and.
Well, in this case, so disregard the parallelogram here, although I've used that as my starting point for both of these. But basically what I've done, so I know that the starting point of the big one is near a fork of the Tub Mill branch, which today is the Saunders branch. So then all I've done is kind of taken my starting point and I moved the entire piece until I get to a point that seems to fit. I kind of lost it a little bit. And then this seems to be a pretty good fit based on some points that line up with things. Like even up here. The very top line kind of seems to match with this. Looks like probably a ditch running down here. It could be coincidental. Then again, it almost lines up with part of this later parcel, which was called Dalby's Security. And in this point here, I mean, there's enough of a margin of error all through this entire thing that this point here could very well be right here, and that this should more follow this section of Sam Hill Road crossing 24. I mean, that's not, it may not be the case, but there would be enough of a margin of error for a parcel this big surveyed in 1760 that would be possible.